Well, hello there, YouTube. Thought I would tell you another Tim story. There's supposed to be a different... I'm gonna try something here. There's supposed to be a little way I can snake up there a different way. This is just a little neighborhood I like to goof around in. Ooh, look at the water. I know I'm on a dual sport and I shouldn't worry about water, but I'm trying to keep it clean. I may have this all wrong. I'm just goofing off up here. But anyway, I was going to tell you another story about my Texas friend Tim and my Harley Davidson. That was a bird. I thought that was like a plane or a helicopter flying over my head. Wow, there was... I seen a different way of goofing off up here, and I just don't recall where that was. You don't have to worry about speed bumps on this thing, do you? Ooh, look at that cool driveway. Yeah, that one's a dead-end road. Anyway, so my friend Tim, he lived across the highway from... We lived in this new neighborhood. Every time I watch come across E.T., that neighborhood that this, you know, they lived in, you can see it's a new neighborhood that there in California where that's filmed. But our neighborhood in Texarkana was the same way. It was all new houses. In fact, when we moved there, we were the second people to ever move in, and the third house completed. There's another house completed, but it wasn't hadn't been sold yet. But anyway, he lived across the way. It was a horse. It was in fact, it was a horse. A beautiful red-haired gal. Had to be in her late teens or so. I mean, I was a little guy, but did I have a crush on her? This beautiful redhead. That's probably why I've got this thing about girls riding horses. My wife wants a horse, and I said, yes, dear, whatever you want. But anyway, let's see if there's a dog up here that usually comes out if he's out. Watch this. He's not there. That's twice I've come through there and the dog wasn't there with the garage open. He hides in them bushes and just bah! Well, when I take my wife for a ride on a motorcycle up here, I just conveniently forget to tell her, and she's like deep in thought about something else. That dog jumps out and she about comes out of her skin. God damn you. You knew that dog was going to come out. I say, yep, I did. So, anyway, there was a little farm across the street from his house. And that's where I learned to ride English style on horses after her horse tried to kill me one day. That's a whole nother story in itself. But went to his house and we were riding around over on his side, which just kind of like country roads and stuff, you know, like coming up here. You know, my side was all concrete, organized streets with alleys in the back and the whole deal, you know, and his was out in the country. It was just, actually the neighborhood became very big. When I moved back to Texas in, what was that, 95 or something, man, that thing had really gotten huge. But so we go over and we're goofing around, and down towards the end of that road where I was telling you another story, how his Mexican stepfather, that could barely speak English, essentially taught me how to shift motorcycles. There was this huge watermelon patch, and there were some pretty shady looking houses down there, you know, and it was some less than, damn, your brake lights don't work, dude. Holy crap. But an old lady in a Buick's gonna get me, or Mercury maybe. Wow, so you come out here in a little small town USA, and that's where your shit gets kicked. That's cool, a little alley. It'd be kind of fun to explore, wouldn't it? Probably just a little road. So we're goofing around, we see this watermelon patch, and it was a hotter than hell day, and we thought, how cool would that be to have a nice big old watermelon, you know? So we keep driving by, and it's this big old patch. The land that this watermelon patch was on bordered a little crossroad, you know? So we're looking at this thing, we're going, you know, can we just take one of those, or what, you know? And we thought, well, what the hell, you know? We don't see anybody around, you know. We see this old, look like a shack, you know, up towards the top. It was kind of on a rolling hill. There was a shack up towards the top that had we just figured it was like a tool shed or equipment shed, you know, for doing his farming or whatever. So we ride the little Harley Davidson out into the watermelon patch, and was eyeballing watermelons and found one that, you know, wasn't too big and we could pick up and carry out. I don't know if you know this or not, but watermelons don't just they don't just pop right off the vine. You have to work at these things, you know. So we're down there, and, you know, we finally get this thing unleashed, and we're all proud of ourselves, and we're about to get on the motorcycle, and all of a sudden we hear this screaming, just this deep voice. Hey, what are you doing out there? And my friend Tim, you know, he jumps on the back of the motorcycle, and he still got that damn watermelon. I still remember it was on the right hand side. And so I'm like, brr, brr, I get ring, ding, 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 get the little Harley running, and we take off, you know. And the guy had like a big stick in his hand, you know. We thought, this guy's gonna come running after us and club us in the head. Well, all of a sudden, there's just this shrieking scream that comes out of my friend, and the sting that goes down the inside of my legs and the back of my arms. I mean, just an unbelievable sting. Like a million bees just got me all at once. And just a fraction of a second later, I hear the loudest boom. It was an old black dude, and it was his watermelon patch, and he shot us with rock salt. Whammo! And my poor friend behind me, he gets the blunt of the blast, and he's just wearing a t-shirt or something, you know. And all of a sudden he just, you know, does this arch back thing, and, you know, I thought he was gonna fall off the motorcycle, and this guy's still screaming, so he holds on, and we just haul ass and kind of ran down the, you know, the path of the crop kind of a thing, you know. And of course, you know, watermelons already go all over the place, you know. So I just got the hell out of there, got back on the road and hauled ass. And I never said anything to my parents, but Tim's parents went down and had a word with that old boy, and, you know, we didn't know, it just red welts all over us. And the old guy had posted signs and everything else out there to, you know, saying, you know, basically stay out or I'll shoot you, you know. But he had told him it was rock salt. It ain't gonna hurt you. It's sure a wake-up call, I can tell you that. God almighty, man, that stung like hell. And what's crazy is how long it stung. It just seemed to linger on for a while. It's pretty intense. But man, my poor friend Tim, he really got it right in the back, and he was, like I said in the first video about him, he was very fair-skinned, and man, it did look like he got attacked by some killer bees or something. But we're all okay. But I just, you know, there's an analogy, no racial thing or whatever, but, you know, And, you know, my black friends all joke about it too, you know, chicken and watermelon, but it was just ironic that, hey, I don't know if it was his farm or he was gardening it or what, but we weren't going to get away with that watermelon, and we didn't. It got dropped when he got shot. Oh man. But it's weird, and something I never thought of, and of course I know better now, that it's amazing how the shot, even, I don't know how fast, you know, projectiles out of a shotgun comes, but apparently it's faster than the speed of sound, because it hit us before we heard it. And that's always kind of haunted me. You know, you watch some crazy movie and there's a sniper taking people out, and you know, make sure I don't have a bug on my lens, not one I can see anyway, but you know, where the people get shot and but you know, you'll see in the movies they boom and everybody ducks, you know, when they hear the bang and the bullet hits the side of a building all at the same time. No sir, that is not how it happens, especially out of a rifle. I mean, you're hit, blown into pieces, and on the deck before you know, like the old Vietnam vet friends of mine say, you know, you'll never hear the one that gets you. And there's some truth to that. Even out of a shotgun, tossing rock salt. Now, of all things, you think rock salt would move real slow, but it don't. It comes at you real fast. And I have no idea. It was an old double barrel. I have no idea if he blasted both barrels or what the case was, but he took a shot at us. And he was really old. You know, he probably didn't realize we were kids or anything, you know. Who knows? But I think it was the fact that we jumped on that motorcycle with the watermelon that pushed him over the edge. You ain't getting away with my watermelon, dude. You're gonna die. Well, rock salt ain't gonna kill you, but maybe close enough to you it would, but we were a ways away. But this is Power Sports Northwest. It's a Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Polaris dealer. And my son was one of his first official jobs was there. You know, he's pretty bright when it comes to mechanical stuff, and they made him I might take you by the train station. Made him a lot boy, and he wanted to go beyond that, and they basically kind of blew him off, so he left. So I'm gonna stop and come back here.